All right, nail techs. This is Miss Rachel Robinson Lewis, and I am going to be getting y'all ready for your practical. The first thing that everybody needs to do before we do anything, you need to prep your manicuring hand, or um your little fake hand. You need to prep that ASAP. So I have this one, the realistic one. You can take this to your PSI place to do your practical with it. That's fine. I prefer the one with the clamp. Mine don't have a clamp, but you can still take it. When you are prepping your hand, because you're going to have your hand prepped before you get there. Now, if you have this hand, it's going to be a little stressful because you already know you slide this in. So, for example, come on, girl. Come on, Sheila. Stop playing. So, for her pinky, right? We already know this slides out and in. You're going to slide it back in. Then you're going to take some scissors or a file or whatever, and you're going to make it cricket. So it looks something like this. The nail will look cricket because once you complete the manicuring service of your practical, you're going to file it and make it pretty again. But this is what prepping the hand looks like. I'm going to prep the rest of the nails, and then I'm going to show you what they look like. When I first put them in, they all look pretty, and yeah, everything looks fine. But so then once you are done prepping the nails, meaning you're going to attach nails to your fake hand or mannequin hand. You see how this nail is not even? I done cut a piece of the nail. This one finger, I have regular nail polish on it. This one finger, as you can see, like somebody bit it with the teeth, but I cut it. This finger, poor baby, got bit too, cut off. And this finger, she done took a little bite of crumb too, but it's a little dip it. So basically, when you prep the hand, you're basically getting the nail service or the manicuring service portion together, so that when you do it, you see a difference. You see that you know how to mimic the steps. So make sure you pre-prep your hand before you get there, because they're not going to allow you to prep your hand while you're there. It needs to be pre-done before you get there. And it's just as simple as what I've done. Don't make nothing complicated, y'all. It is this simple. Congratulations. You have just finished your written portion of the PSI license and regulations. Let's get it. All right, so once you get there, it's time to do all your paperwork, do all your stuff. They're going to ask you to go to your station. You can pick whatever station you want. Walk in. You're going to put your bag down. Most likely you're going to put your bag on the floor, but y'all get the drift. Take out the bag for the procedure. Procedure 1. We're going to EPA first. Paper towel. We're going to take out our trash bag. Take out our trash bag. Tape it on the edge of your desk or clamp it with a binder clip, whatever is convenient, whichever one you have. We're going to leave our EPA out. We're going to leave our blood spill kit out. And we're going to leave out our sanitizer. We're going to take the rest of our paper towels. Throw the rest of this in our fake trash cans. Sanitize our hands. Make sure we're all good and ready to go. Re-sanitize our hands. Fill up the bag, because if it's open, it ain't sanitized. Sanitize our hands. Remember, if you do anything and you touch this trash can, re-sanitize your hands. Once you are done, procedure 1 is done. That's simple. It's just set up and clean. That is it. All right, so you have already completed your pre-examination setup and disinfection part, which is procedure 1. Now we finna hop into procedure 2, which is the manicuring service. Before you start, sanitize your hands and then go from there. So you're gonna sanitize your hands, you're gonna EPA your whole station again because each service is a new client. Trash. You touch the bag, re-sanitize. Once you do all that, then you're going to go to your bag and you're going to grab your procedure 2 bag that's already labeled. You've already EPA'd everything, so you can put your bag down because we've already EPA'd. We're going to take out our 3 towels. You should have your cuticle softener. You should have your manicure bowl. You should have your manicure nail brush. You should have your cotton for your orange wood stick. You should have your soapy water. Cuticle nippers. Your emery boards. Once you are done with that bag, you throw it away. Alright, so we got our client. We're going to sanitize me and the client's hands together because we want to make sure our client hands are sanitized and everything. We're going to pick up the nails. You are doing the cuticles for the basic manicure part. I want to show you how to correctly mimic the cuticle for stapler. Procedure of your practical. When it is time for your tip application, as always, sanitize your hands. You're going to get the EPA. You're going to spray. Each procedure is a new client. Please EPA and sanitize your hands each procedure. throw it in the trash, re-sanitize my hands. After I do that, I am going to grab my bag with the proper labels and procedure. When you're doing a tip application, it's always good to have different sizes of tips so that the proctor can see that you know how to properly size, know what's too big and what's too small. I like to tell my students when they're doing a stay board or anything in particular to always get organized. Trash can, sanitize my hands. All right, so let's begin. When you are putting on a tip, you know we're going to always follow the nail, the natural nail. We nicely, lightly follow the nail with a 180 grit nail file. We're going to buff the nail to take off the natural shine. You always do your nail prep. Make sure there's nothing underneath the nail. Break, because we're done. Trash, sanitizer. Always grab extra supplies just in case you drop it or it touches the trash can. Then you're going to grab your tips. Again, have 3 different sizes. It could be 3 different shapes. It doesn't even matter. At least have 3 to 5. Make sure you look at the nail. You see if it goes sidewall to sidewall. That one does not. This is not it. This one is way too big. It's on the skin. And this one fits just right, flush with the natural nail. That's what you're looking for. That's what you want on the nail. Again, I will have inserts. All right, so once I'm where I want, all the shine is out. When you are applying the nail, please remember that you're going to use the rock, stop, and hold method. That should be on your state board written exam, but they're also going to look for that when you are doing tip application. I am sanitizing my hands again because I touched my face. Remember, we don't cross-contaminate anything that you touch. Again, I will have inserts. All right, so once I'm where I want, all the shine is out. When you are applying the nail, please remember that you're going to use the rock, stop, and hold method. That should be on your state board written exam, but they're also going to look for that when you are doing tip application. I am sanitizing my hands again because I touched my face. Remember, we don't cross-contaminate. Anything that you touch that is not particular to the client and not pre-sanitized, you need to sanitize your hands. All right, so I have my glue. I am going to put my glue on the nail. I am going to rock it. And then once I get where I feel there's no more air bubbles when I'm rocking, you just rock side to side. Make sure there's no air bubbles. Then I'm going to stop and hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. Remember, rock, stop, and hold. Once I feel like the nail is secure, after my 5 to 10 seconds, I'm going to most definitely pick up. I'm going to add my dehydrator on my nail. I am going to let that dry for a couple seconds. I'm going to get my file, my nail brush, and my tip cutter. Make sure your dehydrator is labeled with the manufacturer. It doesn't matter if it's coming off or not. If it is coming off some because of the chemical, just relabel it so that they know this is what it is. All right, after we do this, then I'm going to get my file and I'm going to come to the sides and I'm going to just make sure it's all even. I'm going to get my tip cutter, slide it through, cut it where I want it. Look at it, make sure it's even. Remember, you do straight up and down to keep it crisp, an angle if you want that hook. Whatever you decide, make sure it's even. For the state board, I would go straight up and down, but it's up to you. Once you're done, you're going to brush it off with your nail brush. You're going to put up all your stuff. Because you are going to need dehydrator for the next one, you most definitely can leave it over here. Or you can have another bottle of dehydrator in your other procedure bag. Once everything is in your procedure bag, you throw it in your mock trash can. You stand up. You sanitize your hands. And you raise your hand to notify the proctor that you are completely done. Once you stand up and pick your hand up, your timing has stopped. There is nothing else to be done. You leave your hand there so that they can come and see if they haven't cued you already. And then you put your hand back in your bag. Depending on what state you are in, you can leave it out. Other than that, put it back in your bag, and we'll go from there. nail enhancement part of the procedure. Again, we are going to sanitize our hands, spray our EPA, new procedure, new client. Throwing that away, redoing that to the hands with sanitizer. You touch the trash can. We're going to get the proper bag that has the nail enhancement with form on it. Take out our towels. Our table is EPA, so our bag can touch the table. We need our cuticle oil, manicure, our nail brush, our acrylic brush, forms. I grabbed 4. They sticky. Sometimes they get messed up. You're not gonna be able to go back and get nothing else. Odorless monomer. You're gonna need 2 diaping dishes for this procedure. This one you would need dehydrator and warmer. Orange wood sticks with cotton and your polymer powder. Trash. Sanitize my hands. Alright, let's get down to the business. Each procedure you will have to do a different finger. FYI. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind you're being timed. This part of your test is probably the most stressful because it's dealing with odorless, and most of us don't do odorless. You're doing odorless because you're in a confined place, and they don't want that blowing up their place. Most of these test sites are small, y'all. All right, so you put the form on, secure it. Now, depending on what kind of hand you have, it will be a little stressful. Secure it as much as you can. I have an iguana type hand. You know you have to slide those nails in. Be mindful that they might move. So try to get it as even as you can. I think the harder hands work best, but a lot of people don't like those. Anywho, all right. You're going to have your monomer in one, odorless. You're going to have your polymer powder in the other tapping dish. If you know me, you knew I was going to do glitter. Oh, don't do that. Blooper. You're going to get your brush nice and ready. Moisturize if possible. You're going to put your primer. Make sure your primer is low odor as well. Apply to the natural nail. Secure your bridge first. Because one, these hands suck. so you can secure your bridge. Please do this as fast as you can. While it's under the light, just brush it, you know. The more cleaner it is and neater, the less work you gotta do. The actual nail is not ready. That's paper that's making that tapping noise. Alright, so while I am waiting for my nail to get in position for me, you see how my forms keeps popping open? Don't like being on this material. Might have to hold it till it's time. Alright, so while I am waiting for that I'm holding it in place, FYI y'all, because it don't want to stick properly. I'm going to close up my monomer. My extra polymer powder that I have, aka acrylic. I'm going to put that back where it goes. This is all sanitary because our client is clean, we are clean, all our stuff is clean. I'm going to grab my bag. I'm going to put all my chemicals back in. These are all of my forms, so we are clear. 1 take, 2 take, 3 take. 1 wouldn't stick, and well, all of them really wouldn't stick, but you know, trust the process. It's almost there. This is awesome. It's gonna feel a little rubbery. Don't let that freak out. It's just how it feels. Touch a trash can, sanitize hands. The tapping is getting better, but you're gonna be listening for something like this. When you hear that, you know it's as close as you get to that sound, you know that it's ready. I'm finna go in and try to take this off. When you pull this off, we pull underneath. Come on. Come on, don't break. It ain't the cutest, but it didn't break. Once you're done with that, you're going to get your cuticle oil. You're going to rub some cuticle oil on it. If you forget to use your orange wood stick with cotton, you can most definitely rub it with your hands. But the more sanitized you are, the better it is. We're done with that. I'm going to break. Throw that in there. Brush off excess whatever. I'm going to throw that in there too. Sanitize everything going in the trash. We're finna clean up. extra, you just pour it into your paper towel. Trash can. With your lamp, each desk will have a lamp. This is my form. I will have inserts as well. I'm going to move all of this. I'm going to fold. Put this in my trash can. Sanitize my hands. Stand up. Raise my hand. The proctor will come over. She will examine, look at what you did. Once that is done, you will go on to you will go on to the next procedure, which is the blood spill exposure. You're at procedure 5, the blood exposure incident. You're going to EPA, your station, because when you decline the procedure, you did our nails and stuff and everything. We throwing this in the trash, so we're gonna read EPA. All right, so we got our beautiful client, and now we done cut them. When you do this procedure, you can do it on the hand, on the finger, on the midway of the finger. It don't matter, as long as it's on the hand and they see that you know what to do. All right, our client has started to bleed. Oh my God. We're going to put on gloves. The first thing you do is put on gloves. Y'all know it's not fun putting on gloves with nails. She's bleeding, so we always use universal precautions that everyone is infected, even if they're not, because you don't know and everybody don't declare their stats. All right, so we have our gloves on. We take out our bio bag. That's where we're going to put our bloody stuff. We're going to take out our antiseptic, and we're going to take out some of our gauze, paper towels if we think we might need it, and our awesome Band-Aids. I usually bring 2 of everything because if you drop something, you cannot go back to the floor. All right, I hurt her cuticle. I'm going to spray with antiseptic. It might sting a little bit. Then you're going to hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. You apply pressure to stop the bleeding. After you do that, then you wipe it. You're going to take the Band-Aid. After you wipe it, you're going to take your bloody stuff and put it inside the biohazard bag because it's contaminated, it has blood on it, and bodily fluid. We don't want nobody. You're going to take off your gloves. You might take off your gloves after the Band-Aid. Don't beat me, y'all. Don't beat me. Take this as test humor. Awesome blooper. You put the Band-Aid on the person. Everything extra you're gonna throw in the bio bag because it's considered contaminated. You're gonna put this back in the other bag so it's not overexposed to no one else. Zip it up, throw it in the trash. Re-sanitize your hands. Make sure whatever is out, if you don't need it, throw it in the trash. Every time you touch the trash can, sanitize your hands. Once you are done with your Band-Aid and everything, your client's secure and safe, step aside, raise your hand. You are done. Made it to the last procedure of the exam, which is the end of exam disinfection. It is a bag that will say end of exam disinfection. In that bag, you'll just have paper towels because you're literally just going to clean up, and that is it. So this is how the procedure goes. Take your paper towels out your bag, spray your table. You spray your table, you spray your lamp. Whatever desk lamp you have, you spray everything. You spray it. If your chair is able to be sprayed, you spray your chair. Everything. You spray everything. Once you spray everything, everything is clean. Anything extra, you throw it in here. The last thing that will be on your desk will be this. This, you pump in your hands one last time. One time for the road. Once you put that in your hand, you throw this in your trash bag. Take this off first. Your trash bag. Drop it. Do your hands because you touched it. Throw this in there. It's the end. It's the end. It is over. It's a wrap. Some places you can leave the trash bag on there. It just depends. Either way it go, you'll be okay. Once that is over, that is a wrap. You raise your hand, meaning everything is done, clean, ready to go. And it's a wrap. Congratulations, nail techs. You just passed your practical.